Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi, and on the show tonight, we're confronting a chilling epidemic that's sweeping across the country. Digital arrests. That's right. Cyber criminals are spinning webs of fear, posing as CBI or even Enforcement Directorate officers. And we expose one of the darkest, fastest growing nightmares in the country. Today, not just stolen money, we're talking about stolen dignity, stolen trust, and in some tragic cases, stolen lives. Take a look at this. Naresh Malhotra, 78 years old, a respected ex-banker. Over 30 days, he was conned into parting with 23 crore rupees. His life savings gone like that. A Karnataka member of Parliament's wife, Preeti Sudhakar, lost 14 lakh rupees despite being well educated and, needless to say, well networked. SP Oswal, chairman of the Vardhman Group, was defrauded of 7 crore rupees. An 82-year-old ex-army officer, Dalit, lost 3.41 crore rupees. And in perhaps the most heartbreaking cases, Diego and his wife Flaviana, after losing 50 lakh rupees, died by suicide. These are not isolated cases. These are India's new cyber emergency. Let's dissect how these scams work. Step 1. Fraudsters contact the victims via phone, email, or applications. It could be WhatsApp, right here on your phone, posing as maybe government agencies like the CBI or the Enforcement Directorate. Step number 2, they create panic in the minds of the victim, alleging links to drug trafficking or terror funding. Step number 3, the call escalates to fake senior officials in staged courtroom settings, informing victims that they are under a digital arrest, a term that does not exist in India's legal system. Then comes isolation. Victims are threatened, told their families are at risk, and warned that they are being watched, they're under surveillance. And then comes the final blow, financial extraction, coerced into breaking fixed deposits, selling their assets, even taking loans to pay off these scammers. And once the money's been transferred, poof, the scammers vanish, leaving victims like Naresh Malhotra, the 78-year-old ex-banker, 23 crore rupees poorer, or Diego and Flaviana, who took their lives after losing 50 lakh rupees. The numbers are staggering. 2023, that year saw 24 lakh cybercrime cases costing rupees 7,465 crores. By the year 2024, cases had jumped to 36 lakh, with losses hitting rupees 22,845 crores. And it's not just India. 2,471 Indians were rescued from Southeast Asian scam centers, lured by fake job offers and forced into cybercrime. From Cambodia to Laos, states like Tamil Nadu, UP and Maharashtra saw hundreds of them being freed from the entangles of this cyber law nexus that's breeding in the Golden Triangle. The government, it is stepping up, but is it enough? And that's why we're talking about it. The Cyber Fraud Mitigation Center unites banks, telecoms and police. A suspect registry database lets you verify shady UPI IDs or numbers. Prime Minister Modi, in Mann Ki Baat, warned that no agency conducts inquiries via phone or video calls. There are various awareness campaigns. They're flooding newspapers and social media with joint cyber coordination teams targeting hotspots like Mewat, Jamtara and Hyderabad. But here's the kicker. Digital arrests aren't real. Never share Aadhaar. Never share your one-time passwords or install your remote access software. You get a call, let me get on any desk, ma'am. Let me do this for you. Let me download the software. You never do that. Legit agencies do not demand payments to personal accounts. Falling prey. We've got an informed panel with us tonight on In Your Interest, and the big questions that we are asking: how safe is the digital India that we are collectively building? Is fear of authority our biggest vulnerability? Is India prepared for the psychological warfare of crime, where technology doesn't just steal money, but it also destroys lives? Joining us here on the broadcast, Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP, Uttar Pradesh. Many thanks for joining us, sir. Anuj Agarwal, Chairman, Center for Research on Cybercrime and Cyber Law. Many thanks, Mr. Agarwal. Kanish Gaur, cybersecurity expert. Always a pleasure to have you with us on News 9. And Advocate Khushbu Jain, somebody who's an expert on digital arrest and data privacy laws. Many thanks, Advocate, for joining us here on the broadcast. You know what? Mr. Agarwal, let me quickly begin with you. Let's understand. And I want to take the case of, again, Mr. Naresh Agarwal. Mr. Naresh, shocking 23 crore rupees lost in digital arrest in a scam in Delhi. He was an ex-banker. If anybody had to be privy about what a bank does, it had to be that gentleman. How do you explain the scale and, of course, the sophistication of such scams as well? 23 crore rupees, 47 days in house arrest. I mean, it's mind-boggling to even think of it.
Now, this is what we call as the height of social engineering. That somebody just calling on the phone and then saying that our van is just close to your house, but we are good cops. So we are not coming to your house, but only talking to you over video, but you are actually under arrest. And if you do not cooperate, our van will come and your social prestige will gone. So I think this is one big factor which plays in the minds of the typical Indians, especially those in the higher social strata and with a long, good career, checkered history. So they will not like to get into any kind of a social problem, and probably that is one reason they get into this. But yes, the amount being transferred in crores, especially this 23 crore, so much huge. I was recently in London on an anti-fraud conference, and it has yet not reached there. But yes, the problem of this social engineering is very much there in the Europe also.
Yep.
So I think this is a global phenomena, and of course, we are definitely suffering quite a bit. The amount which you have also showed, 2.47 billion US dollar in terms of fraud, we are losing every year. And this is the reported numbers. I mean, the unreported or the total numbers may be 5 times, 10 times bigger.
22,000 crore rupees in losses, sir. 22,000 crore rupees in losses. And this number very well could be on the upwards of this particular figure. And we've seen elderly victims, Mr. Agarwal, MPs' wives, even high-profile industrialists that are being trapped and targeted. Why are so many educated people falling prey to this?
That is where I am telling you that it is basically the educated people. It is mostly retired people who have got lifelong savings with them in terms of retirement benefits and everything else. Recently, we had a case of an 84-year-old lady teacher in Delhi. She lost more than 1 crore through this process, where her family members asked, she was under arrest for 2 days, that what's going on, and she said, no, they are good cops, and I am transferring my money to RBI. So they are basically very good people, trusting people, and they thought they are being treated fairly by the good cops, and they are transferring money to the RBI and institutions. So I think they go by that and thinking that they will be very soon exonerated honorably, as we see in movies. So I think this is the way it is, and mostly educated people, mostly retired people, and social engineering. More than that, it is the social profile which people are maintaining. That is how these criminals come to know that who can be or who should be a better target.
Right.
I have dealt with multiple cases of people who are retired at a very senior level in the government services, and it is really shocking that such people can be duped in such a manner.
Yeah, absolutely shocking. 47 days in house arrest, and after the first tranche of 14 lakh rupees that was transferred, I mean, the scammers just get greedy and seep into the man's SIPs and mutual funds, whatnot. It is a scary situation. Kanishk Ghosh, cybersecurity expert, also with us on the broadcast. Kanishk, can you break down the modus operandi for us? I tried to do it in my introduction. I don't know if you heard that or not. But step by step, how do they actually trap their victims? Because we've heard of fake Supreme Court hearings. There are deep fake officials, 24/7 surveillance. They'll tell you that a van is just nearby, just like Mr. Agarwal was telling us. Technically and technologically, how advanced really are these scammers?
So, one, we need to understand it is not just crime which is happening from India, from Mewat, Jamtara, Nuh, Bharatpur. Right now, there is a belt in Southeast Asia where this is organized cybercrime.
You're absolutely right. I'm going to request the control room to put, all of those graphics up on the screen whilst Kanishk answers. We've already rescued about 2,500 Indians from the Southeast Asian scam hubs. Over to you, Kanishk.
Yes. Now, these scam centers are run in Laos. They are run in Cambodia. They are organized centers where more than 50,000 people have gone and are now part of something called as transnational organized crime. Now, these cyber criminals work on their will, and they are people from India, from Sri Lanka, from Bangladesh and Pakistan, who call people in their countries to social engineer them, and you have proper sets which are set up for them to appear as judges, as member of enforcement directorate, CBI, local police authorities, where they try and dupe whether if they target someone, they do proper analysis. They will identify a victim's profile. They will go through their social media profile to identify who their family members are. They will try and do a full analysis. They will use technologies, and then the first call normally would come from a satellite phone. So if you get a call from a satellite phone, then they will tell you that a call is going to come to them through a WhatsApp video call, or you would be called via Skype. A Skype ID would be shared. So the first method now is changed by using satellite phones to call. Now, to stop all of this, it's very difficult because this is crime which is outside Indian jurisdiction. So what the government needs to do is, it needs to build a partnership with these countries so that law enforcement agencies in these countries nab and shut down some of these fraud centers.
That's absolutely great point, Kanishk. We do need to start this coordination and tighten the noose on these scam hubs. Dr. Singh also with us, former DGP Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Singh, you've led one of India's largest police forces. Help the viewers here understand, why do victims, even the educated ones, just like Mr. Agarwal and Kanishk were talking as well, they panic and they believe when scammers claim to be CBI or enforcement directorate officials? Is this due to gap in public trust? There is massive digital apathy. So many of our elderly citizens wouldn't even know what broadcasting your screen on WhatsApp means in today's time. So many of our senior citizens wouldn't really know Zoom calls or any desk remote access. Is this really because of lack of public trust?
Abhirji, good evening, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Very important discussion has happened in this while. Let me tell you that what was true in the pandemic, that it is difficult to find a single household that has not been impacted by the coronavirus. Likewise, the digital arrest also is one such. It is difficult to find a single household which has not been impacted. I'll show you a very wonderful letter that I have received. And this is also, just see the signatures, the letterheads, and it is addressed to me.
This is the fake letter you're saying, sir?
Yes, the fake letter sent to me and said that you are indulging in absolutely anti-national and activity which I cannot even mention.
If you're indulging in this, sir, then I mean the police force is done for. That's for sure.
Well, the scamsters got their money's worth in the first interaction, and I haven't got a call back again. They play mind games. It is absolutely a question that they identify people who are elderly and with deep pockets, and then try to target them and pursue them, that they will be spending the rest of their lives and the cremation will happen behind the bars. These are the words that they use to demolish you, whatever rudiments of self-confidence or self-esteem that is left. Then they take over. Then the fake matters in which they try to impress you that they are authentic. And look at the degree of loot. It is 1,000 times more than the 200 years of banditry in the Chambal Valley. 200 years banditry on one side, the cybercrime on the other. Therefore, it is a smart criminal idea of those sitting in Laos and Cambodia. What Chaviram Pothi, Mahavira, Shivraj, Madhav Singh, Mohar Singh, Malkhan Singh couldn't do in 200 years, they have been able to execute in 3 years. Now the smartness, now the elderly. First of all, every person who reveals anything to anyone is sitting on a box of RDX, whether it is your name or OTP, or whether it is something that is so discreet as your bank account number or the CVV number or anything that is discreet, and share it only on the basis of need to know and right to know. As Osama bin Laden, in fact, survived because he was absolutely off digital connectivity at all. But digital hygiene is of paramount importance. There are a set of do's and don'ts. Our experts perhaps could do a checklist, and that checklist should form a part. Anytime I make a call, I should be absolutely discreet, should not disclose sensitive information. And digital hygiene is one thing that is most important.
Digital hygiene. Let's stick to that operative part. And to the viewers as well, there's a case study at my own end, at my own peril and end as well. Let me cut to the chase. I received a call a couple of months back. They said, in my name, somebody from Taiwan had sent large consignment, And then the man goes down to break down what that consignment actually held. It had passports, it had credit cards, it had I don't know how many grams of methamphetamine, it had a computer, it had some cloth as well, and some loose cash. To tell me that it was coming from Taiwan from a specific address, and to also direct my call to the Mumbai cybercrime branch, and to tell them all I had to do was go on Google, write the certain instances that I was going through, and I got to know instantly that this was actually a scam that was being played at my expense. And I quickly told the police commissioner on that very call as well, if you do not make me believe in the next 20 seconds that you are actually a police commissioner, then this call is going down. And then that call again came, and of course, just like the DGP told us, they got their money's worth from my mouth and end as well. Advocate Khushbu Jain is also with us on the broadcast, expert on digital arrest and data privacy law. We've lost that connection. We'll quickly try to patch her back on. We do really need to understand digital arrest does not exist in Indian law. We really need to categorically state this for our viewers. But coming back to you, Mr. Agarwal, data shows the cybercrime cases in India rose from 39,000, which is about 91 crore rupees in losses in 2022, to 1.23 lakh cases in 2024. This explosion tells us about the preparedness of what's really happening in these Southeast Asian hubs. Are they not scared? What's really at play? Kanish just told us that there are, makeshift mock courtrooms that are built in those places. Are they not worried? Why are they, roaming scot-free? What gives them that kind of emboldened, ambition to go on and carry out this kind of scam time and again?
So I must tell you, number one thing, that this is a kind of a spin that the hubs are in Southeast Asian countries. No, they are very much in India. And if there is an influential person who has been duped, his money comes back. So I think it is a systematic failure and it is a cover-up. They are very much here in India. There might be some of the people might be there outside the country also. That is definitely a possibility, a certain percentage. Nobody is bothered and nobody is fearing the law enforcement agencies. It's very unfortunate.
Right.
And one of the reasons is that the Supreme Court has given, the Honorable Supreme Court has given a ruling that offenses up to 7 years are more or less bailable, more or less, and most of these cases are being booked under erstwhile 420 or now 318 of the existing criminal law, where bail is normally the norm. They must be booked into more stringent provisions,
right,
which were earlier 467, 468, where bail was not a possibility. So that is how people, especially the young people, are getting into it. They are duping people like left, right, center. They have absolutely no fear. I have dealt with so many cases in courts where they know and they accept that yes, they have got the money, but they are claiming bail and say let the prosecution go on, which they know will go down 5 years, 10 years. By the time victims will either die or they will completely get out of the system.
Yep.
So somewhere down the line, the law enforcement agency, and it is the responsibility of the parliament, more or less, because it is a pandemic, as the Dr. Singh very rightly said.
Yeah.
It is even bigger pandemic than.
That's a great analogy. Back in during the COVID-19 times.
If the country is facing a pandemic, our political leadership, our parliament has to come forward with a very innovative law and idea to curb it. We cannot let this 23,000 crore plus every year going.
You're absolutely right. Advocate Khushbu Jain, expert on digital arrest and data privacy with us. Let's take this question to them. Advocate Jain, first things first, we were trying to understand, can you categorically state for our viewers, digital arrest does not exist in Indian law? And what Mr. Agarwal was telling us, do we need stringent measures for this? Maybe some non-bailable, sections in the BNS?
Okay. So number one, I think everybody, each and every person has to clearly keep that in their mind that there is no terminology called as digital arrest. No court, no police, no authority has a power to arrest you digitally in law. Whatever they pose themselves, whosoever they are, with whatever uniform, with whatever logo, absolutely no digital arrest is something which is there existing in Indian laws. That is a
Let's put that out again. Advocate, say that again. Let's put the advocate on a bigger screen. Advocate, say that again to all our viewers, cameras towards you.
any authority with any uniform, any logo, whatever you see, nobody, no court, no police official, no authority, no income tax official, no ED, EOW, none of them have a power to arrest you digitally. There is no terminology as a digital arrest that exists in India. This is absolutely illegal. Whatever they believe, show you, they show you the logo, the
Well, seems
impersonate
like,
police official who you might know.
a little bit of a technical difficulty. We're going to quickly patch that back. Advocate Jain seems to be traveling at the moment as well. But do you concur, Kanishk, with what the advocate is telling us right now? And is it time, if that terminology does not exist, can we do something? Our lawmakers, is it time now that we introduce something like that in our, legal system?
Absolutely. You can make special provisions because you have to curb digital arrest right now. So if anyone has been asked to appear in court virtually, right, they have to seek exception, right? The hearings would only happen on exception cases where the person is unwell. So this trend of allowing interrogation is basically busted from ground. Second point which Mr. Anuj Agarwal was making, while we have people who try from Mewat, Jamtara and Nu,
Yep.
there are definitely cases which are reported, but there is also provincial compounds, and I have done detailed analysis and investigation on this with my team, which used to be compounds where there used to be casinos during COVID times.
Yep.
And because of losses, these casinos got shut down. And these casinos are now turned into prison compounds where you have people who are either, put through human trafficking routes through visa on arrival, and they do it for living. Either they are forced or they are basically trafficked, and they are doing it, and they get what $800 to $1,000 per month. Their passports are also confiscated. Lately, Cambodia police acted and shut down some of these compounds, but the other ones moved to much safer heavens. In countries where there is more political unrest, where there are more political issues, these are operated under militias, and that is how militias are making money.
Yep.
The Interpol has issued a report on how this is not just a threat to India but entire Southeast Asia. So the work needs to happen with Interpol as well on this.
So when they're talking about terror funding, it's not happened yet, but once you transfer that money, it definitely becomes terror funding.
Absolutely.
Dr. Vikram Singh?
One more point. The same money
Yeah.
is then used for smuggling arms, for
Yeah.
ammunition. Same money is used for drugs,
Exactly.
for money laundering. It's the same people, militia, which is operating, and this is a new method which they have used.
Well,
The
I don't want to
money-
joke about this, but it seems like that the scamsters aren't really lying that your money is being used for terror funding, because once they do transfer it, it is in fact being used for terror funding. Dr. Vikram Singh,
Yeah. One
despite
last point.
cybercrime
One last
cells,
point.
I'm going to come back to you, Kanish. Let me bring in Dr. Singh as well. Despite cybercrime cells in every state, the conviction rates, they remain quite low. From your own policing experience, what's holding back effective crackdowns when you're talking about digital arrests? Is it technology? Is it manpower? Is it coordination between the economic offences wing and what the cybercrime branch is essentially trying to do? What's really at play?
You're very right, Mr. Kabir. Mr. Anuj had given a hint about what is the ground reality. The fact of the matter is the technological gap between the scamsters and the technical prowess of the investigators. They are extremely proficient. When I say they, I would mean the scamsters. But the police, they have done a wonderful job, because my generation could move a tank, but they could not move a mouse. But now the police are fast learners. They know how to move everything, and they are better than the scamsters as far as knowledge of hardware, software, and IT enabled services are concerned. We have cyber police station in every district. We have cyber competent. In my university, there are 2 head constables doing PhD in cyber crime and cyber management. But so things are moving fast. But in a scale of 1:10, we should have at least been 9 out of 10 to give a befitting reply. But unfortunately, with all the efforts and the budget, our level of training and proficiency would be something around 4 out of 10. Miles to go before we sleep. And again, to talk of convictions, first, has there been any sensational arrest and recovery? I just say at least I'm not aware of that. First, ensure proper arrest, proper recoveries of the looted amount, and then ensure conviction. To Mr. Anuj, I would say that the provisions also in the Bharati Nyaya Sanhita and in the IT Act that can take up the charges right up to 10 years behind bars, that would be sufficient. But I feel that life imprisonment, because in drug case, habitual offenders are sentenced for life. In this case also, the amount and degree of loot would warrant at least life imprisonment.
All right, all right. It seems like Advocate Khushbu Jain is back with us. Advocate, we do need your comments on this one. You know, victims often lose crores, but how much of this money is realistically, that's something that, you know, Dr. Singh was talking about, how much of this money is realistically recoverable under the current legal systems? And when we're talking about the legal front, is it more that we need to do, and can we do it?
Okay. So number one point of yours, how much is recoverable? You'll see there's a huge amount of money that is recovered because Government of India under the Ministry of Home Affairs, I4C, has got something called as 1930. That's the number any one of you should call up if your money is transferred by you in any kind of cyber fraud or it's been taken illegally by you. Now this 1930 practically does what? What it does is any money that is transferred from my account to, let's say, Vikramji's account, from Vikramji's accounts to Kanishk account. Now let's say Vikramji's account is a pseudo account which is being utilized by some criminals. Kanishk must have his account is something which never existed and he had no idea. From his, let's say it has gone to somebody else's account, and that account is practically utilized by some kids or some people by giving that account on a rent to people. Now in all this scenario, you don't catch hold of the criminal. So 1930 practically goes to 9th layer and catches the money that flows from this entire web which criminals have created. So when it comes to recovery of amount, lot is happening, but there is also a catch. Time plays a very important role because this criminal know that they have to act very fast, swift, and utilize this web which they have created. So as early as you report block on 1930, chances are very high for you to recover your money. The later you go, their job is done, and practically this money is being utilized and can go offshore or can be, it changes the color so fast that it becomes very difficult to catch hold of this money. That's number one when it comes to money part. In this, even RBI has gone to a level where RBI has utilized AI technology and created a AI tool called as Mule Hunter. Now this Mule Hunter is being given by RBI to all the banks and financial institutions and payment gateways, so that, let's say, Khushbu Jain's account was utilized for these transactions. Now from the same PAN card or same identity, any other bank will get an alert so that one person doesn't open 20 accounts or keep on changing the banks and utilize it, so that we actually capture these people to.
What are the chances, Advocate? What are the chances that this mule, this AI software gets hacked itself? What are the chances? I mean, we're constantly, Mr. Agarwal spoke to us about how, there is engineering superiority. I mean, today, anything is hackable. Isn't AI hackable? And if AI gets hacked, that's going to be a different ball game altogether. Essentially, it opens up a Pandora's box, and we do need to continue to talk about this, which is why, in your interest, we make it a point to pick up segments and topics that can educate the viewers out there as well. Did want to spend a little more time with you, Advocate, but completely run out of time here. Kanishk, my apologies, couldn't give you the last say here. Did want to talk about digital hygiene. Maybe next time around we talk more about how we can increase our digital hygiene on that particular front. With that, completely run out of time here. Mr. Agarwal, many thanks for taking out the time, and always a pleasure to have Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP, Uttar Pradesh, with us. That's why anytime you get a call, there is no such thing as digital arrest. Nobody is dressing up as CBI and Enforcement Directorate. And if they really do want to get something out of you, they'll come straight knocking for your door, not on your phone or on a particular application. That's all the time we have for you. In your interest, stay safe, be aware of digital arrest.
पापा इससे पहले जो चलाई थी वही ले ले।
चलती बढ़िया है। कुछ कह रहे थे?
नहीं, इनकी सर्विस में डाउट था ना।
सर, ओवर 300 टच पॉइंट्स, 170 सेंसिटीज।
पर इन्हें सिर्फ 25 ही साल हुए हैं।
तुमसे तो ज्यादा ही है।
Skoda Fan Fest is live. Walk in today for a test drive and avail exciting benefits.
Skoda.
Arm pain reliever